I might be changing gears in a tremendous way. You see, I make these videos about how to live a free life. And right now I'm working, I don't know, about 10 to 15 hours a day on a project that might not work. So over the last few years, I built this, it's a small studio. It's pretty great for what I use it for. I'm spending several hours every single week putting together videos and content. Oops, sorry, now I know it's too dark. It's too dark, you can't see me. It's because I'm closing up shop, going to work, going somewhere else. I've spent a lot of money building out this place that I work at with equipment, and then spending lots and lots of time writing content and editing, putting it up there. You have to make thumbnails, and it's a tremendous amount of work. And the truth is, it's overwhelming. And last night, it kind of came to a breaking point. Now, I've got a friend named Andre Gique, and he has done incredibly well on YouTube, going from basically having nothing every single year to having an amazing income, just killing it. And I'm inspired by him, and he's a good guy, a good friend too. So he kind of inspired me to start a channel. So I got all this gear, spent all this time, tons of money, got lots of friends involved with it. Last night I decided, you know what, this isn't for me. I am going to quit because it's just too much. And if it wasn't for a friend of mine who does a lot of the editing for this, if not all the editing for this channel, I probably would have just said, that's it, I am done. But he suggested that I go about this in a different way. He said, maybe you need to vlog about what your experiences are. Because right now in my life, I might be at a crossroads. I might be changing gears in a tremendous way. You see, I make these videos about how to live a free life. And right now I'm working, I don't know, about 10 to 15 hours a day on a project that might not work given how hard it is. You see, I've been spending 3 years managing a performer, a great performer, a really great guy named Banachek. And over those 3 years, I've helped him with his show, and we've gone on tour. We were gonna have a show here in Vegas. In fact, we looked at, tons of places. We looked at going into the Luxor in 2 different venues at the Luxor here, which is the big pyramid here. We looked at Excalibur, which is like a big castle here in Las Vegas. We would have had to be in a theater there called the, I think it's called, not Thunderdome, it's where Thunder from Down Under plays. It's a male review. Got a bunch of guys get naked on stage. So when you walk into the theater, you pass by all of these pictures of pretty much naked men, which would have been really, really uncomfortable for his show. We looked at the Aria, we looked at the Mirage. We almost had a deal at the Mirage, and then they changed up all the management and that went away. We've been working on this for a long time. And then COVID came, and COVID messed us up even worse. Basically, it shut down Las Vegas. It shut down the country, it shut down the whole world. Everybody was out of business. So in a way, I was really happy that we dodged that COVID bullet, and we finally got our opportunity, but we had no control. I partnered Banachek with this amazing guy, an incredible production company here. It's very, very successful, SPI Productions. They were bringing a lot of the know-how and the localized marketing, and to some degree, some of the funding. But at the time, they were bringing all of the funding. So I had to learn how to go out and fundraise, and I had to learn how to go out and get a grant and raise money for this show to happen. Anyways, lo and behold, we have a show at the Strat, which is an iconic building. I love the theater. I love the people that work at that theater. They're amazing. It's kind of the dream come true as far as, definitely it is for Banachek. Any performer would be crazy if they said they didn't love or want to have their own headlining Las Vegas show in a major casino and a major theater in a major casino. I know for a fact because when I was in high school, I had the dream of having my own Las Vegas show. And I remember telling my friends that, and my girlfriend at the time, I told her parents that, and they thought it was silly and ridiculous and it would never happen. And a few years later, I had moved out to Vegas and I had my own show, but I had set the goals up wrong. I had said that I just wanted a show in Las Vegas. So when I got it, I didn't have everything else that I wanted with it. I didn't have the billboards and the marquees and a large theater. I had a very small place that was tiny. We made it work, but it wasn't as grand or as dreamy as I thought it would be. And through that process, I learned that you gotta be really careful about what you want and what you dream for, because oftentimes the dream doesn't deliver on what you want. So for example, let's say you're craving a steak. Maybe your body wants protein, so you crave a steak, but with that steak also comes cholesterol, comes bad things too that is not good for you. Well, when you get a Las Vegas show, yes, it comes with a little bit of significance. It also comes with you having to sell a lot of tickets and make sure a lot of ticket brokers are happy, and it's a lot of work. You're basically always needing to make sure that a new audience is in those seats all of the time. And you pretty much need an army around you if you want to have any chance of pulling that off. So when we put Banachek into the Strat, we went big. The theater's big, the lighting is big, the production's big, everything. It's great. The show's amazing. But here's the thing, we're still kind of in COVID time. Right now there's a mask mandate in Las Vegas, so if you're inside any of these public buildings, you gotta wear a mask. From what I understand, travel from Europe is basically cut off to the US right now, and that's really reduced how many people can be here and buy tickets, and so we're just having a hard time filling seats. And with a big show like what we put on, it's really, really difficult to pay the overhead that we're dealing with. So I'm under a lot of pressure because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure on Banachek. There's a lot of pressure on people that put money into this venture. I'm under pressure because I'm the guy that's hopefully trying to make everything work. And it's all on my shoulders. And we've got employees and a lot of technical problems and hurdles and obstacles that are in our way. But really, that pressure isn't that bad because I have set myself up in a situation where if this show closes, I mean, I won't be happy, but I'll live. And yet I'm dealing with this crisis because my identity has kind of been wrapped around the concept of making this successful. And identity is really important to me because it ties in directly with purpose. You see, I used to work for Apple and I had about 130, 140 people that reported to me, and I knew these people and I loved these people. I knew about their families and what their dreams were, their aspirations were. And at the time I had a beautiful wife and you know, I was working really hard to make her dreams and aspirations come true. And so my purpose really got tied to helping other people. Before that, I had my own show in Vegas and my purpose was really tied to my own significance. And I found that to just be shallow and insignificant. You know, I found it to be really, really temporary and egocentric. So when I realized, hey, you know what, I can make my existence about other people's happiness and about reducing their suffering, that kind of changed my angle around what purpose could be. Anyways, lost my job at Apple and lost my marriage. That went all downhill, not by my own errors, but well, I'll take some responsibility for it, regardless. That all ended, and so all of a sudden, those 140 people that were what gave me purpose in life, and that wife that gave me purpose in life, they were all gone overnight, it felt like. And suddenly, people that I didn't know or didn't think would come out to support me really became my lifeline and started helping me out. And others said, hey, you could help us out. You know a bit about business, you know a lot about show business. Maybe you can be an entertainment manager. And that's how I fell into this job. My purpose changed from being about my own personal significance to being about helping other people. And the reason this show at the Strat is so important to me is because I'm afraid that if it fails, it's going to change how I view my purpose. When you're a little kid, you believe in Santa Claus. By the way, if you're a little kid and you're watching this video, turn the video off. But if you're a little kid and you believe in Santa Claus and that gets taken away by somebody revealing a little secret on you and telling you Santa doesn't exist, that can be kind of crippling. That can be crushing. You can realize, oh, you know, this romantic part of life is gone. And then the same thing happens with the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. I come from a history of doing magic. And so every time a magician learns a new secret, it's like having Santa torn away from him. You know, it's another secret that is now revealed that doesn't have that same meaning. The world is just a little less beautiful when you know how all magic is done. It ends up backing you into a corner. At first, life is beautiful and it's full of possibility. And then you start learning that everything that you thought was romantic, everything that you thought was magical, everything that you thought was beautiful was actually orchestrated. I would say within the last 10 years, I've really come to grips with understanding that pretty much every award that is out there, whether it's an Emmy or an Oscar or a Tony, I mean, most of those are bought at some level or acquired through political means for a marketing purpose. That was torn away and I was like, oh, that's another little mystery that was beautiful where people were being respected and honored for what they did, and suddenly that's gone. So anyways, my point is that it's almost like the planks that we stand on are being torn away from us over and over and over again, and it gives us less area to stand on. There's less beauty in life to have. And so when my purpose around my own significance, doing my own show, was torn away, I suddenly had less to stand on. I was like, okay, my own importance isn't that important anymore. What about other people's happiness, reducing other people's suffering? And that's currently where I'm at. And what I've made my life about is how do I reduce other people's suffering and make other people's lives as good as possible. However, in this process of doing this, I've put everything I have into making somebody else successful. And if it fails, after failing at so many other things that involve helping other people, I'm wondering if that will just be another plank torn away within my own purpose. If that will be another Another thing that I thought made life beautiful, that I thought was a reason to live for, a purpose to exist, if that will suddenly be removed because I've worked so hard to make somebody else really happy, and there's a possibility that it won't work. And if it doesn't, what purpose am I left with? What remains for me to exist for? If my own significance doesn't matter, and if ultimately, no matter how hard I work, I can't reduce the suffering of others, I'm left wondering what purpose is left for me. And I'm afraid that there won't be any there. And it scares me a bit. And so yesterday, I almost quit making these videos because I wasn't sure that the effort that I put in to trying to add value to other people's lives is worthwhile. I really, really, really hope that I'm wrong about that. But I have to be reasonable and honest that that could be a possibility, and that might be the reality of my life. And if that's the case, maybe it's not about helping other people. Maybe it's about attaining the most for myself or something like that, which to me is much, much less romantic and much less beautiful, and I think might not be as good for the world. I would love your thoughts, because obviously I'm trying to work through something that's kind of complicated and heavy, and I hope I did a good job or a decent enough job at explaining it that it made sense to everybody watching. I am now in the parking lot, the employee parking lot of the Strat, where somehow I have found myself becoming an employee despite my efforts of turning this into another great passive income opportunity. I find myself here every day trying to make this show a success, so that hopefully I can walk away from the show and let it run itself and make other people happy. And I really hope that that's what happens. But if it doesn't, it means I've got to change gears, and I don't know what gears I have left. I need your guidance. Obviously, I need your guidance. I need everyone's guidance. If these videos are not of value, well, obviously don't subscribe, but also let me know. Let me know if I'm wasting my time putting these out there. And if you like this idea of me kind of brain dumping and vlogging, then let me know that too. And if there's something that you want me to talk about specifically on this channel, then please let me know and I will. I'm happy to share my experience, whether it's with entrepreneurship or real estate or passive income or relationships. I've dealt with a lot of dynamic relationship challenges and experiences, and I'm happy to go into any of that stuff. And if you do enjoy this, please subscribe and let me know what about it you enjoy so that I know what kind of content to create. I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.